This question was set in 2015, so let's read it together. A game on a computer shows six players around a table on seats. They are numbered 1 to 6 as shown below. Okay, this is the table, and we can see six seats there: one, two, three, four, five, and six. And each seat, we can see who is sitting there, the name of the player. Now, the name of the players is stored in an array with six elements called player name. So this is the name of the array, player name. The index position of the array is used to indicate the seat number. So these seat numbers actually the index position of that array. So that means, for example, the value of player name 1, this is the index number, player name 1 indicating that player, which is Helen. Okay, this is the setting. Now first question asking state the value of the of player name 3. So it's really pretty simple. As you see, player name 1 is Helen, so obviously the player name position in 2 is Adam, and the index number 3 obviously is Lydia. So just write down Lydia. Okay, that's 1 marks there. Nice. Now let's read the second question, so which is B. Describe what will happen if the code for the game includes an instruction to print the value of player name 7. Right, so it is asking if we have instructions and looking for the player name 7, what gonna happen, right? And it's 2 marks. So what gonna happen? So obviously, when we are looking for that, we can say program finds there is no position 7 position 7 in the array. That's the first thing. Program gonna notice that you're looking for position 7, but there is none position 7. That's the one. We need 1 more mark, so we can write down. After that, after program finding this, then it gonna shows an error. So an error will we can say occur. Okay, an error gonna be occur. Or you can say an error message would be displayed. That's it. So for this you're getting 1 mark, for this you're getting 1 mark. So the program gonna finds there's no position 7, and then it's gonna show an error message, right? So you got 2 marks for that. Okay, nice. Now let's go to the question C, and this is a bit tricky, of course, so let's read it together. Now, during the game, each player sometimes moves clockwise, remember this word, clockwise, by a given number of places. What does it mean? For example, if the player number of places is 2, that means player are moving 2 places clockwise again. Yes, like Helen will move to seat 3. Why? Let's check. So Helen is here. If the number of places is given to 2, that means Helen moving 1 space, 2 space. Yes, so Helen gonna go to seat number 3, and then Priya will move to seat number 1. Why is the case? So let me see. Priya gonna move from here to here 1 and go to here another 1. So yes, Priya gonna be in seat number 1. Okay, good. Now we need to write an algorithm that will update the contents of the array player name after a move has occurred. So we need to write an algorithm and then update the arrays, the position of the players actually, when a certain number of places need to be moved. Okay, so let me just color this as well. Of course, it is our array, name of the array, and in our algorithm we should have allow the number of places to move to be input. So you're taking as an input and asking how many places they need to move. That's the first thing. Second thing, also it should be some kind of iteration, obviously, because same thing happening over and over again. And when I'm saying the iteration, it comes to my mind either while or for loop. Now I'm sure you can guess it should be a while loop. Why? Because we know how many times it gonna happen, the code gonna run, the player gonna move based on the input. So if somebody's write down, give the input 4, that means they're moving 4 places. If it is 3, the code gonna move our players 3 places. So it should be for loop. And we need to ensure that all of the existing players names are moved to the correct position in the array. That is the main goal of this um, program we are going to set, right? Now, before we look at any kind of solution, I just want you to remind about a um, the idea of variable, how a variable works in a program. So let's look at here. Let's create a variable a, and I'm going to give it a value 10. Okay, let's create another variable, and I'm going to give it 30, let's say. Now, next, what I'm going to write is a equals b. Now, so what happens? Initially, a was 10, and b we initialize with 30. Now, when I write down a equals b, is simply, let me show you, it simply take the new value and the old value is lost. For example, if you print a now, it's gonna show you 30 because this initial value is replaced now with the new value. Now, let's say in a situation I need to use this value later on. So what could be a trick? A simple trick could be I'm just creating a variable, let's say temporarily, and I'm saving whatever value in a in here now. Later on, when I need that value, all I need to do write down a equals temp. So now that value which was saved here, giving back to a. And to prove it, we just write down print a. So this a shows us 30, and then I'm getting it back from the temp, and it should show me its original value, right? That's how the variable works, right? If you understand this, we need to utilize this knowledge in this program. So let's build it, right? And I'm going to write in pseudocode here basically, and there is a reason. Let me tell you why. Basically, when you're writing any Python code, for an example, we all know that arrays start with the index number 0, but in this particular problem they tell us that the position starts from 1. So if I write in Python now, it would be much easier for us, but the problem is it I have to write 0, and I do not want to make that confusion. So let's stick with the pseudocode. Okay, now let's write this array first so we can see what's happening, right? Right, so first is Helen in the first position, then we have Adam second position, and then we have Lydia. After Lydia we have Kauku, and then we have Priya, and then we have Chen. Okay, that is our array. Now we all know, we already see that we need some kind of input as a number, so we know how many places they need to move. So we just need an input, and let me give the name. The variable name is, let's say simply num. Fair enough. Okay. Next, now we need a for loop. We see the iteration, isn't it? That should be iteration. So let me write that iteration now. So for and I can write down I starting from the 1 to how many places? That many places, whatever you get from this input. So now, yeah, that's our iteration. And then here you need to think before you write the next line. What is happening when the positions are moved? So I take this picture in here to explain it a bit more for you. So let's say theoretically, let's say somebody give me number two. All right, that means the player Helen need to move. Remember, it is clockwise, so it goes this way. Helen should go one to here, right? Simply, Adam need to go from here to here. Lydia need to go from here to here. So they're just moving. Now, if you think it is like a game of what is called chair, okay, circular chair. There's no position here, isn't it? Right. So when we're moving, I would like to think. Let's take this chair empty. Okay, so at least we can start moving the players. The last one, we just take this empty. Now here comes handy when you think about the temp variable I explained to you, right? So before I do anything, I just make this empty. Empty means I'm saving this value in a temporary variable for a while. And then I can move my player from this position and they're all moving their position. Let me show you what I mean. So first of all, we are taking this value, player name 6 value, going to be stored in a variable. Okay, that's the main thing I'm going to do. So I can write down the variable is temp and then player name 6 gonna be saved there, right? So now this is empty. Now what gonna happens next? All I need to do now is say anti-clockwise, so I'm gonna move this player to there, move this player to there, move this player to there. All right, all of them are moving. That means the position are updating with the new player name. That means the position the player 6 getting the value from this player, this position. The position of the player name 5 are getting the value from this position. The position of the player 4 getting this position, right? That's going to be one move. If our user press 2 for the input, obviously we're going to do one more move, right? Program going to do it. That's the iteration is for. So basically this is empty now. Let's move the position for each player to one place. All right. So I can write down player name and that position we are giving it to player 5. Okay, I'm going to copy and paste this actually so we can speed up this now, right? So next one, as you can guess, I'm sure now, the player whoever now was in fifth position, we need to give that to player 4, and then again whoever in position 4, we need to give it to player 3, and then next whoever in position 3 now need to give it to player 2. Next whoever in position 2, they need to give it to player 1. Okay, but what about the player 1's position? Player name, who get that position? So let's see. Yeah, and here comes that value, what we said for that. Now we just give it back to that value. Okay, and then this is the whole circle and we write down next I, right? So what happens, I'm gonna explain one more time to you so you'll understand that. Let's look back to this picture. So this is the table position. We want our players to just change their position clockwise. Before we do any change, we take this value somewhere, right? We just make this seat empty, right? But we cannot just keep giving players straight away, because if we do, that value will be lost, as I explained how the variable works in a program. So we just create a variable temp for this value. Then after that, we are just giving the value position 6 to player 5 was Priya. Priya's position, player 5 goes to Kauku. And this position, Lydia comes here, Adam come here, Helen come here. Then when this is empty now, chain goes here. As our program going to shows that player 1 now getting whatever value we have saved earlier, it goes here. In our case, this is chain now can get this place. At last, this place becomes empty and available, right? That is just one situation, one circle. So the chain is here now, right? Helen is here now, Adam is here now, Lydia is here now, Kauku is here now, and Priya is here now. If you another move, of course, same way, then chain gonna be coming here, Helen coming here, Adam coming here, Lydia gonna go there, Kauku gonna go there, Priya gonna go there. So it's just circling itself. Iteration is happening, right? So that's let's check, have we done everything? We took the input and also use iteration, and we already checked that this is happening efficiently as we use this logic how a variable works in our program. Okay, you get full 6 marks with that, right? That's all. Thank you.